Hi, I'm Jen Dodson, and I'm presenting on historical fiction. The book that I've chosen is called Henry's Freedom Box. It is a book from Ellen Levine, and it is actually a true story from the Underground Railroad. It is about Henry Box Brown, who was a runaway slave, and what I love about this book is that it has some really gorgeous illustrations in it. These illustrations are done by Kadir Nelson. But not only that, but it is a very moving story. It is a story about Henry Box Brown and how his family how he was sold to, or actually given to, his master's son, and then he was he got married, and then his family was sold, and then he wanted to try to get back to his family, but he didn't know how to do that. So he got with a friend, and he mailed himself to the north, which is very ingenious. And so that's why he was called Henry Box Brown. So let me read you a few excerpts from the book. This is the first page here. Henry Brown wasn't sure how old he was. Henry was a slave, and slaves weren't allowed to know their birthdays. And so then we carry on here, and this is the pages where his master is dying, and this is his mother. And then he's given to his master's son, and you can see the pictures and how wonderful the illustrations are in the book. And so he's married, and his wife, he's got children, and there's his children, excuse the glare there. And then he finds out later, this is a very moving page here. Let me see if I can get this. I just love the illustration. You can see how very sad he is in this picture. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous picture here. That his family has been sold, and he doesn't know what to do, and he wants to go and save them, but he knows that he cannot do anything to save them. So then, after a few weeks, he realizes that the only thing that he can do is to try to get himself free. So he goes with a couple of friends, and he mails himself. He decides he's going to mail himself north. And the way he does that is he puts himself into a box. And these are his friends, and they're sending him north. And they even wrote on the box, this side up. Here we go. I'm not really good with this. This side up. I love how the illustrator Kadir Nelson, he's really done a wonderful job with illustrating this book. And here he is in the box. You see that. And this one, they had wrote this side up, but unfortunately when he was thrown onto, they weren't even careful with the box. They threw him onto the ship. But he heard waves, and right here it says, hours had passed, and Henry's lifted up and thrown again, upside down. He heard waves splashing. This must be the steamboat headed for Washington, D.C. The ship rode smoothly, but Henry was still upside down. Blood rushed to his head. His face got hot. His eyes ached. He thought his head would burst. But he was afraid to move. Someone would hear him. I'm tired of standing, someone said. Why don't we move that box and sit on it? And then said another. Henry held his breath. Could they be talking about his box? Henry was pushed. The box scraped the dock. Now he was on his right side, now on his left. And suddenly, right side up, "What do you think is in here?" said the first man. "Mail, I guess," said the other. "I am mail," thought Henry, "but not the kind they imagine." And so there you see, there's Henry in the box. You see, not exactly the kind that they imagine, that's for sure. So this book is really a great book, and you'll have to get it and read it. I thought that in a classroom setting, this book would be really a great book to connect with a similar story, and that would be Harriet Tubman's and the Underground Railroad. And what I would do with it would have small groups or whole class discussions regarding the Underground Railroad. It can give students an opportunity to share their feelings about slavery, and also I could assist the students in building a vocabulary list with words related to the topic, such as freedom, abolition, slavery, injustice and justice, master, perseverance, patience, determination, that kind of thing for the lower grades. And for upper grade students, I thought that we can discuss words on a vocabulary list, and then maybe in depth for comprehension. Maybe we could present a play. There were just so many things that I could do with this book. It really hit so many different ideas for me. But this book is really a great book, and I highly recommend that you read it. And that's what I have for you. Thank you for listening.